Hey guys, Tony here. For anybody who's new to the channel or anything else, my name is Tony. My husband Sean and I have 7 biological children together. We are raising our large family in the Black Hills of South Dakota, which presents many amazing opportunities to see and engage in nature. But we do all of that while living with severe allergies. That's actually what I want to talk to everybody about today. So just how severe and just what types of allergies do we really face? This is what my channel is primarily focused on, is not just raising a large family and what it takes with that, but doing so with allergies and how that affects our day-to-day life and choices. I will start with the simplest. As far as the kids and stuff go, we'll go from there. Of our oldest 4 girls, only one of them has an actual food allergy. A lot of our kids, a lot of people in the world suffer from seasonal allergies and things like that, whatever. One of the big girls has a pineapple allergy, which is really random and weird, but it's not severe. It actually just causes a really weird dry rash on her back. Now, she is also our child that suffers from eczema, which we have to have treated by the dermatologist because it has a way of running away from us from time to time. So that was all we dealt with until our younger 3 came along. Easy enough. With the younger 3 is where our severe allergies come in. This is where I become an overprotective mama bear, and people don't always understand. And I can appreciate that because I didn't understand it before these kids came along either. Blake is the first one, and he has a severe peanut allergy. When he was tiny, it was also believed that he was allergic to raspberries. Again, kind of a weird, random allergy. It was thought maybe it was the molds or something that naturally grow on them that were too minuscule, but it was fresh raspberries he reacted to. That one, we have tested raspberries more recently, and he does not seem to react, so we think he's outgrown that one. The peanut allergy, though, is a whole other ballgame. Both of our children who have a peanut allergy are not just ingestion allergies, they are contact allergies. And that does mean that if there is any peanut residue on any surface from anything, whether you had it on your hands, you touched something, they came along and touched that same thing, they can react from that. So when he was 18 months old, that's when we found out the hard way. I had tried to feed him peanut butter sandwiches and stuff previously. He always rejected it. But when he was 18 months old, I was eating peanut butter honey toast, one of my favorite treats. And he decided to come get some bites from me, which was perfectly fine. He loved it, so I made him his own slice. Within, I don't even remember how long, to be honest. I'm going to say 10 to 20 minutes, maybe not even that. He started kind of coughing. He was red and splotchy around his mouth. But then he started like stretching and scratching and gasping. And I completely panicked. My 18-month-old was having an anaphylactic reaction to peanuts. I had no idea just how severe that was or what it really meant, what I needed to do about it or anything. I called the doctor's office as I was loading him in our vehicle, told them I thought he was having an allergic reaction and I was bringing him in. They said that they could treat him there. I could also just take him straight to the hospital. And I look back and I think what they were doing was trying to encourage me, but they never said take him straight to the hospital, because the truth also was they were halfway between us and the hospital. So they had the ability to administer medications there and have an ambulance on standby if need be. I had no idea at the time that it was that bad. I had no idea what it really meant. So we got there. They actually had never seen anything quite like it because they watched his body bring himself slightly out of the anaphylactic reaction. Now, he was still reacting. His throat was still a bit swollen, but it was no longer swelling shut. We actually watched some of it recede. So they administered Benadryl, and then we were on watch for a little while before we were allowed to go home. And from that point forward, he carried an EpiPen. So knowing that, we tried to keep our house pretty allergen friendly. We just didn't feed him peanut butter, which is the standard most people think of. I just don't eat it. Except he kept having reoccurrences of hives and stuff, and I knew he wasn't eating it. But it turned out that when our other children ate anything with peanut butter, like a peanut butter and jelly, the residue from their hands would be on surfaces or something on the table. He would touch it. He was reacting. So the hives were his contact allergy. Okay, well, that's when we decided it was too much. We were having too many reactions. We took all peanut butter out of our house. Around this time, we also found out that if we could prevent him from having an exposure for 5 to 6 years, is what we were told. Since he was so little, there was a good chance he might outgrow it. The older they get, the less likely they'll actually outgrow it. Still a chance, but less likely. So fast forward, Taya was born. She was a year old. At this point, we had a peanut-free house. So that one wasn't even a question. I fed her scrambled eggs, and she instantly broke out in head-to-toe hives. So I thought, oh, here we go again. Took her to the doctor. They ran an allergy panel on her as well as an updated panel on Blake just to check. Taya was not only allergic to both egg whites and egg yolks, which apparently most people are allergic to one or the other. That's when we found out she also had a peanut allergy. So at that point, her worst reaction was just the hives. So they said, keep Benadryl on hand, keep an eye on her. It'll all be okay. Same thing, try to avoid contact, she'll outgrow it. Moving forward, she had a severe not an anaphylactic reaction. She had a prolonged reaction. I should say that rather than severe. When she was 2. It was Christmas time. Somebody had mailed us Christmas gifts. And it was the only thing that had changed in our house, but it took us a week to find out that this is what it was. So these presents arrived. We put them under the tree. At 2, she knew what presents were. Her birthday had just passed. She knew she couldn't open them yet, so she would sit next to the tree every day and just pet the packaging. Loved the wrapping paper. I didn't stop her from doing that because she wasn't trying to open them. Well, then she ended up with hives that every day got worse and worse. And after a week, they were pancake-sized hives. The doctor said, okay, a week is too long. They put her on steroids to get on top of it. And we were left sweeping through our house, trying desperately to figure out what was different that was causing the reaction. We knew it wasn't something she was eating. The presents were the only thing. It turns out the person who sent them had made peanut butter cookies on their kitchen table, brushed all the crumbs off, but didn't wipe it down thoroughly, wrapped Christmas presents on that table, and then mailed them to us. That is how little transfer it took to cause such a reaction. And the doctors have now said that because her reaction was so prolonged and progressively getting worse, that there is a high chance she will have an anaphylactic reaction if she is exposed again. So she now also carries an EpiPen. So as you can understand, that contact allergy is very severe. We are hyper vigilant with both of those kids. The egg allergy, she simply just doesn't have to eat it. Easy enough. We have other stuff in our house that the other kids can eat. She just doesn't. Right now, I'm about to head into my parents' house, since we don't have a functional kitchen again yet, and use their oven to bake a cake for her that is eggless. So those are the kids' allergies. Micah, the youngest, so far, he seems fine, which I am so happy for. I pray daily that it stays that way, because studies have shown that if one child has a peanut allergy, each subsequent child is more likely to also have it. Why those two ended up with it, we have no idea. There's so many theories out there in the world about why this happens. Most of those theories we don't fit. So, no idea. We just go on with our day. Now, in our house, though, there are other allergens that we try to avoid. I personally am supposed to avoid wheat, soy, corn, dairy, and eggs. Now, dairy of all of that causes the least issue. Still not great. Eggs do not agree with me. I cannot eat corn whatsoever. It causes serious issues. Soy attacks my joints, causes inflammation. And wheat, I am legitimately allergic to. So that one, yeah. Now, for me personally, because my list is so extensive and living life, I unfortunately make the poor choice on a regular basis of deciding which reaction I can deal with today. Now, that is how I've lived my life. That is not the way to live your life. It is not good for me or for anybody else. It is causing other issues. So I'm actually starting this month cracking down. I hope you guys help keep me accountable. I'm going to try to stay on track. There is one exception coming up that we'll see. That'll happen shortly. And let's see what happens. I'm really hoping to see the weight loss that I know is going to happen, because when I stay on track, I lose weight. The second I start eating my allergens, I swell up and balloon again. That alone should be my motivation. So anyhow, the kids' allergies are the ones we focus on because they are life-threatening. That is what controls our lives. That is how we determine where we can go, what we can do, who we can be around. And it's nothing against anybody else, but I will always choose my children's safety over anybody else's happiness. That's really hard for some people to understand, but it is what it is. So I hope you guys found this informational. I hope this helps somebody to understand what exactly allergies can be like and how easy and how different they are from each other, but how easy that they can interact and affect people's lives. So let me know if you have any questions. If there's anything else you want to know about, I will do my best to answer it. And see you later.